Got a video guide here on how to play Fire Mage on Mythic Sludge Fish. My guild killed this last week, week before, something like that. And figured I'd just walk you through on how to play this because there's a little bit of nuance that you need to take into consideration. Fire Mage is really good on this fight. You have combust for every single one of the pillars, but you got to play it properly to make sure that that lines up. So I'll just walk you through this. This isn't going to be a guide on how to kill sludge fish, like talking about the mechanics and stuff. There's plenty of other guides out there for that. If you want to, go find those. This is purely how to play it as a Fire Mage. I'm not going to be going over what mechanics do or whatever. I'm just going to be walking you through the fight, how I played it, and whatnot. To start out with, though, we will go with the talents. It's your normal single target talent setup, except for we're running Fire Starter instead of Searing Touch, and then Shimmer, Rune, Power, Flame On, Frenetic Speed, Conflag, Kindling. All this is normal for single target. But I'm running Fire Starter instead of Searing Touch. The reason for this is this allows us to, on this fight, Fire Mage, with our 1 minute cooldown on Combust, we can combust every single pillar, which is a damage amp. The boss takes 100% more damage. I don't know how much percent more damage he takes. He takes more damage when he hits a pillar. And if we have Combust up for every single one of those, that's really good. And if we run the Fire Starter talent, what that allows us to do is to bust on pull. And by using the crits that we get from the Fire Starter, along with Kindling, we'll have Combust up for the first pillar. So that's why we run Fire Starter. It makes our execute a little less potent, but we're still pretty fine. This is really good to be able to get. This lets us get 6 Combust throughout the fight. 1 on pull, 1 for each of the 4 pillars, that's 5, and then 1 at the very end when you run him into the wall. For Soulbind, this is what I was running at the time. I didn't have Face Your Foes yet at the time, but this is what I was running. It is incredibly, whatever you run, you could also run Naya with her Grove Invigoration, whatever seems better for you. This went pretty well for me because we're doing a lot of upfront damage at the start, and 75% health, that's the boss for your first Combust when on pull and in the first pillar. I'm pretty sure you still get value from this, so it's really good. I like using it, but whichever Soulbind you end up using, whatever seems best for you, whichever one you like, they're not that much different from each other. You have to have Discipline of the Grove. Like now we have Naya, and we could run the Burrs. Everybody knows that the Burrs are really, really good. Even if you have the Burrs, I would not run them on this fight because you need the second potency slot for the Discipline of the Grove conduit, because without that your Combust isn't going to be up in time for each pillar. You need these extra 6 seconds off your Combust in order to make that work. And of course you want to be running Infernal Cascade at all times, so you need the second potency no matter what you're running. So I was running Corin with the double potency, but you could run whatever you want, but you do need the double potency whichever Soulbind you're running. So I think Corin's very good because of the extra damage above 75% health. It's like the first minute and a half of fight or whatever. It's really good. There's your talents, of course. So we're just going to get right into it and walk you through how I played it. Okay, here we are. Pull timer's counting down. We're just going to do our normal, on pull, we're just going to do a normal Combust, precast a Fireball. Normal Combust. Blast him and go for it. We are going to get PI here. As you can see, me and Lou are the only people right now that are using cooldowns on pull. Everyone else is saving for the first pillar. So we get the PIs, and we're just going to do our normal Combust, and we're coming out of that, and boom. With the haste I had just enough haste with a PI that I was able to fit in a last Scorch there. Depending on your gear, you may not be able to get that, but I found that with PI, if I gemmed and enchanted everything for haste, which you probably want to be doing anyways, but that allowed me to just get that last Scorch crit in on the end of the Combust, which is pretty cool. Something to consider, on the pull here, like I said, me and Lou are basically the only ones popping cooldowns. Whoever you're linked with, it's on them to run to you. This first link, don't bother running anywhere with anyone. You've got PI, you've got Combust, you're jumping up and down, you're throwing pyros. It's on them to run to you. Alpha Boomer, I got linked with him here. He's a really good player, really good Warlock. But he's not using his cooldowns right now. Like you see here, he's blowing arms where he kicked W. He's just holding his cooldowns for the first pillar. All he's doing is applying dots, really. So there's no reason for me to try to run to him in the middle of PI Combust when he can easily just run to me while he's not doing anything. So this first combust, it's if your partner doesn't run to you, like it's on them, dude. Like you're doing so much damage right now. There's no reason for you to be bothered trying to run to somebody. So coming out of this, we're just out of our combust here. We got the last little heating up from that last scorch I was talking about. And we can see the boss has 95.5% health. 95% health. This is 5% of the boss's health where Firestarter is going to take into effect. And we have 100% crit on Fireball and Pyroblast and everything. So what normally you would do here, after coming out of your combust obviously, is you would drop your rune and you would shifting power. We're not going to do that. We are going to drop the rune, but we're going to sit on the shifting power. Because shifting power does the same thing whether the boss is at 90% health or 0% health. Does the same thing. But Firestarter only works from 100 to 90. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this last 5% health to channel to blast as many crits as possible, to use kindling to get our combust cooldown really low, so that right before the pillar we can shifting power to get combust right back, and then boom, we're right into the pillar with the combust. So you're going to see here I drop the rune, and then we're Fireball Pyroblasting, and we're just Fireball Pyroblast, Fireball Pyroblast, Fireball Pyroblast. You see the crits just roll in, Fireball Pyroblast, spread a little bit you can. Get the mechanic there, it's unlucky. Fireball Pyroblast. While the boss is above 90%, this is what we're doing. We're not doing anything else. If you cap on Fire Blast, you can throw an extra one out and throw out an extra Pyro. I think as I get knocked back here, I might try to cheat one out. Above 90, didn't do it. Drop Mirror Image here after the boss hits below 90. Mirror Image is a really useful cooldown. I think I use it, and especially with shifting power, reducing the cooldown on it, I probably use it 3 or 4 times this fight. It's just a 20% TR on this big stomp and seismic shift and all this raid damage. Really important that you're pressing this basically when damage is coming out, basically on cooldown. And especially if you can do it before you shifting power, it's going to really just make your survivability that much better, along with keeping your basic barrier up, which I'm not doing right now. So right now now the boss is below 90, we're back to our normal rotation. You can see we've got 25 seconds left on combust, and the gaze is coming in 8 seconds, but we haven't channeled our shifting power yet. So here we're just doing our normal rotation. The stomp's going to come out. We're going to spread for it. And I start shifting power here. If you can, I like to hold it till we get, because we're about to run over to the pillar to be ready to soak. I like to hold the shifting power to over there to as he's charging, that way I can hit the boss with shifting power. But sometimes it's just better, the safest place to shifting power is when everybody's spread there, because no one's going to be moving. Right after this, everyone's going to run a move over here. If you're trying to channel shifting power during it, they might kill you. Sometimes it's best just in that middle of spread phase, just shifting power. Just shifting power right there, because nobody's going to be running on top of you. Nobody's going to be running away from you. It's just the safest place to do it. If you get a little greedy, you can try and hit the boss with it. But to be safe on your first kill on progression, I would say on that last stomp where everyone spreads out, right before the gaze comes in, that's just the perfect place to shifting power. So I do it here. You can see I'm going to get my combust back, and then I can use this time during the charge to run over to get ready to soak. And then I pop combust. I'm going to throw this pyroblast. It's going to hit right when the boss hits the thing. We're going to have the damage buff. And we're going to be making sure we soak while doing our combust. So there's the soak. We're pumping, pumping, pumping. Big damage buff here. Oh, something I didn't... Let me rewind just a little bit. Your combust is actually, if you're using the Gladiator's Badge trinket, your combust is actually going to be up, and you're going to be using it before your badge is actually up. You can see in my weak horse, it appears right here. I'm already like 5 seconds into my combust. You need to make sure that you know. You can see I have a little weak horse thing set up to where if I'm under combust and I haven't used my trinket, it lights up like this. You need to make sure that you press this thing halfway through your combust. It's going to line up with every other pillar just fine. That's not, but on this first one, you're getting combust back so fast with Firestorm or Firestarter. You're not going to get your trinket back in time. So you're going to make sure you hammer this trinket in the middle of your combust to get the value from it. You can see it pops up there, and then I immediately press it, and this is my buff tracker here. So we're combusting. We can make sure we get our soaks. Busting, 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 busting. Then we drop the second rune. Make sure we stay in it, scorch it there. I have a bad habit. It's just muscle memory. Right after combust, I drop rune. Honestly, you should probably wait till he pushes you back before you drop it, because you see I drop it, and I'm going to do this multiple times at the fight, because it's just muscle memory for me. I drop it, and I end up having to cast Scorch and running into it. It's not the greatest. You should probably just let him cast an extra fireball, let him push you back, and then rune. You should actually probably wait till he links you, because you see I'm going to get linked with someone here. and he's over here, and I'm in my rune. Now he's a frost mage. I'm a fire mage. He kind of cucks out to me. I alpha him a little bit here. He's a cool guy, but I alpha him a little bit, and I don't move out of my rune. If you were being a team player, you would not drop your rune until after you're linked and you're in a good spot. Then you can drop the rune. But muscle memory, I always drop it after combust, so it kind of fucks me. I do it a couple times this fight, but it's not correct. Just do as I say and not as I do. So we spread out here. You can see he's running over to me because I didn't move because I'm a toxic gamer. And then we're just hitting the boss. Just normal, hit the boss. Trying to get as many crits as we can to get our combust back in time. Spreading. Use the blazing barrier right before the damage comes out. Something I wasn't using, I was using the defensive conduit, the heal you up in ice block conduit. You should probably use the defensive, your barriers heal you for a certain amount of the damage you take during this fight. Could be really good there. Like, I'd use that barrier there to soak that. I probably would be up to, I'm at 70% health, I'd probably be at like 75%. Just a little min-max thing to help your healers out. Probably run that conduit. I wasn't. Our boys get linked over there. We're just blasting. The roar's coming. Very often, this first pillar, you're not going to notice it. So we'll just talk about it later. But the stomp's coming. You can see here, we're slowly inching our way over because this is going to be the next pillar, and we're going to need to be over there to soak. The stomp's about to come. You'll see we spread out here. I'm pretty sure I have shifting power during this. Yep. I was actually a little late on it, but it's fine. Now we're moving with our boy. We're over here to soak. Power infusion comes in on me. Big damage. This is just do damage and soak. Your normal stuff. So if you're using the blazing soul burner drink or whatever from Kael'thas, obviously the way you're supposed to use it when you're using double on use like that is you use your badge and then you turn your soul burner on. I'm not sure if I do it here. I was kind of hit and miss with it on progression, but something you want to do is if you just let it run out, it will fire off like a second after the DPS amp is done. What you want to do is reactivate this right at the last possible second to hit the boss during his damage amp. Let's see if I do it here. I don't, but you should. You see how it's ticked out here? It's about to go off and hit the boss, and he's already out of his damage step. You want to reactivate that there. I think I do it on the third pillar, but... And there, of course, again, out of habit, I drop my rune. He pushes me out of it. I'm about to get linked with someone. Don't do this. It's just habit for me. So now I get linked with Snow here. She's already over here, so she's got to run through the rubble anyway, so it's worked out fine, but... And then we're just deep seeing. Seismic shift and stuff. See, I use mirror image again right before the damage comes out. Anytime that's up and your damage is coming out, you're going to want to be pressing this. 20% DR is just going to make life so much easier on your healers. Chain slams coming in. You're going to get roared here. You want to try and use these roars to put you in position for the next pillar. We don't do that so well here, but just something to be thinking of. Like if I had got linked chain slammed brought in with the chain slam there, I could have used it to roar me back to this pillar here, which is where we're going to be next, like these guys over here did. Something to think about. You want to use the roar as movement as you can. Here's the thing, and yep, shifting power during it. I'm a little late again. See, Snow's already wanting to run over there. The charge is coming. I'm just standing in this. This stuff does a little bit of damage, but not a whole lot. If you could stand in it, I need to be here to combust right when the boss hits the thing. And when I combust, the rune's going to be there. I want to be standing in the rune, and I need to be standing here to soak. So I ran ahead a little bit earlier. When a soak comes out, if it's going to be on top of one of these like avalanches, the avalanche just despawns. So I took a few ticks of the avalanche there just to get my rune in perfect position for combust. We're soaking here. Now my soul igniter is back up, and the thing is almost over. I think I hold it for the next pillar, which I think is correct. I hold it for the next pillar in an attempt to try and blast it at the last second with the damage amp. Because if I use it right now, it's not going to be up for this pillar, and it's just going to do some damage. So I kind of want the extra damage. You see here, I get pushed back, and I don't immediately rune. Because this one is super, everyone's spread out, and we want to be down here, and I always end up getting pushed over here. I don't rune here purposely because I know I'm going to get linked with someone. Get linked with Jin here, move over. And also, you just saw something Jin did there. When that soak is coming out, or that damage is coming out, and everyone needs to spread, if there's no room for you to spread, just run into one of these circles. I told you it does a little bit of damage, but not a heck of a lot. It's going to do way more damage if you stack on somebody. So if you need to spread out and there's nowhere to run but in one of these things, just run in one of these things like Jin did here. It's perfectly fine. Then we drop a rune now that we're linked and we're safe. And we're just blasting. Stuff is coming out. See, I move back here. I think I altered right there. Did I alter right there? Yeah. I saw this. This was looking kind of sketch. I didn't know where I was going to go. I thought I was going to get blasted real hard. So I alter right here. I press it. Damage comes out. I alter right back. It's very important that you don't alter and then alter back and break your chain, though. Alter is very dangerous here. You got to make sure you know what you're doing when you alter here. The chain comes in, the soak boys are going to go in, and we're going to get pushed back, and we're going to want to be on this pillar on this side to soak. So look, this is where we're at. We're going to get pushed back, and we're going to be exactly where we want. We hero here. We're pushed back, and we're just waiting. I think on this next stomp, yep, we're shifting power. Like I said, this is just the safest place to do it. Throwing out Fire Blast in the middle of it if we camp. And we have our combust back, and we're just sitting. We're waiting for the charge to come in. Comes in, we do it. We activate our Soul Igniter Trinket as well. We're soaking. Big damn. Let's see if I activate the Soul Igniter Trinket. 2 seconds, 1 second. See, I activated it there. I don't know if you... So, right here, let me just pause it. Well, go back just a little bit more. Here. Right here is my weak aura for the damage amp. That's how many more seconds are left on his increased damage. And here's how long my Soul Igniter has. You'll watch. I fired off a little bit early here. 2, 1. I fired it right there. And can we see how much damage it did? 22? Pretty decent. I think normally it hits for like 10k or something. So, blasted him pretty hard. You get roared back here. I drop the rune again instinctively. But it works out because, see my healer boy, I'm actually paired with the healer here. He actually had to run pretty far away. Probably wasn't too happy about that, because I was standing in my rune, but it's fine. It worked out, whatever. We are safe over here now. We're at drop the mirror images again. Like I said, just 20% DR, really good. Spread out. I'm linked with the healer. I want to make sure I move a little bit more than he does. I mean, I'm a fire mage out of combust. It doesn't matter what I do here now. My damage. Chain slam's coming in. What we do here is, on this last chain slam, we bop the person that gets linked with the chain slam person, and we just run out and break the chain. What that does, it means he doesn't pull in the chain and everything. So we don't have to deal with all that damage. We're going to get this last roar here. Run forward just a little bit so we don't get pushed back into the rebel like our healer friend here did. We're going to get the stomp. We're going to spread out. I think I'm shifting power during this. Or do I hold it? I hold it. Okay. And then we're getting ready to... Okay, yeah. I wanted to get in position to hit the boss with it. Then this final charge into the wall. We have a combust again. He's got increased damage. We're taking more damage. I actually alter. This is a perfect place to alter, because you're all standing in these barriers and links and stuff, so no one's going to be running away breaking your chains. Right before he hits the wall, I am at... Right when I alter, I'm at 80% health. I'm not quite topped, but I'm pretty topped. I alter, and he hits the wall. Start combusting. You need to be... during this combust, if you played Mage for any amount of time, Fire Mage, your combust should be basically muscle memory. You don't really need to look at the screen to see what's happening. All I'm doing right now, I'm doing my normal combust, and you might see me like drop an Inferno Cascade charge or something, because I'm literally just staring at my health, waiting for the perfect moment to alter back to 80% health. If you watch it here, I'm busting, I'm watching my health, I'm just staring at my health at this point. It's tickling down, I get low, alter back up, watching it again, health stone, health pot, keep busting, keep busting, keep busting, boss is dead. It's very important on this. You're taking a lot of damage, you need to be doing a lot of damage. I think I drop, yeah, I drop an Inferno Cascade at the end of that combust because I'm literally just staring at my health. I don't even know what health the boss is at. The only thing I'm staring at right now is my health bar. Because as long as I live this, we're golden. I even have Ice Block up still if I get low, but I never got low because I was, with the altar, the health potion, and the health stone, I was able to survive through it. And we get the kill. I get no loot. So, and then my blazing trinket goes off. See, I didn't even fire off the trinket to get the damage, because the only thing I'm staring at that point is my health bar. So that's the end of the replay. I hope that helped if you're progressing this fight or coming up on this fight. GG.